Hi, this is Gayle with BERNINA of Naperville, and hello from Detroit. Well, you know what? I am not used to being in the car for more than a couple of miles, so the drive here from Naperville to Detroit was really fun. And for those of you that live in this area, oh my gosh, the drivers. But anyway, so it's day one. We went through registration last night. I got to meet Julian from Julian Creates, and you might recognize this gentleman. This is Julian Creates. You've seen his face, his lovely face around our store, and his gorgeous work. And this is like the first person I bumped into here at BU, and it's Julian's first BU.
My first time. I'm super excited to be here and see all the great progress.
I know, me too. Do you have any expectations?
No.
That's good.
No.
It's good to go in without any preconceived
Absolutely.
idea. And then after we finally got our badges and some stuff, we headed out to dinner with my friend Emily from Bernina of Oklahoma City. Some of you know Emily because of her super awesome videos for the 990 that she's been like dissecting and trying to guess what the machine does and all of that stuff. Well, you can probably tell from the smile on my face that, oh yeah, we found out what this machine does. And I have to tell you, there is not one thing on this machine that is going to disappoint you in any way possible. Now, I haven't had my opportunity to really touch and feel the machine yet. I'm going to do that in just a second. But I just have to let you know that this machine is like nothing else you've ever seen. Yes, it has some of the things that maybe you expected it to have, but I'm telling you, they do not work the way that you think they would work, because mind blown, they go to the nth degree. And the Bernina engineers, let's give them a huge thanks for this. And let's give a huge thanks to Andy, who was kind of like our voice of the retailer and the user and the super sewist and all of those things. And yeah, I actually do know Andy, and she is awesome. And there's a whole lot of other people on the Bernina International Product and Development team to thank, all of the educators, all of the Bernina of America people, to get this machine into our hands. So there's a lot to talk about during this BU, and there's just so much to take in with this new machine. So let's head down to the classroom and see what's happening. We've got the ultimate sewing machine class to take. I'm so excited, can't stand it. But while we wait, let's have a look at the making of the Bernina 990.
Imagine a sewing machine that truly exceeds your expectations in terms of technology and what it's really capable of. And it's magically easy and simple to use. How does that happen?
The B990 is our flagship model. It's a quite different machine because of its size. We have never done a sewing machine which is that big. Of course, it has many new features, but it's also easier to use. We have completely redone our user interface.
I've seen in the past a lot of our customers really struggle with the user interface because we have so many features on our machine. It's such a powerful machine, but at the same time, it's simple and easy to use.
We have mechanical tests, but we have also software tests.
We test with every material, different stitches, motif designs. We want to be sure the machine can go through every material.
So we will test the packaging with drop tests, so we let the machine drop with the packaging. The freeze test is made to simulate environment, and we were testing the whole life cycle of a machine, which is for the customer, I mean, years, decades.
After the testing is before the testing, we never finished.
So many people are involved in the production, and each one of them is key. The challenge of the B990 is definitely the size of the machine. We had to rebuild the entire layout of the assembly line. There's a lot of passion in the production, there's a lot of passion in the company. It starts quite small, with some small parts, and then it grows and grows through the assembly line, and in the end we see the entire machine.
I've really been involved with this project since the initial idea, and it's been so exciting for me to really see it develop. And from the beginning onwards, I was just so excited about how big it was and how much space and how comfortable it was to use.
We don't want to bring a technology just for the sake of the technology. It has to have some real consumer value. The machine is gigantic and you still get this super precision that our sewing machines have.
You can really see everything on the screen before you sew it. So you can adjust the stitch, you can make it larger, you can make it smaller, you can adjust the density, you can check it with the camera or the scanner, and you really see it exactly as it will sew on the screen.
Sometimes I have to pinch myself that this is actually my job that I get to do, because I love to sew and I love to share what I know. Often it comes in a wonderful new sewing machine that I get to present to the world.
All right, well, let's have a look at all of these cool things that we found out about the machine. So here it is. Here is the 990, and it really is huge, but approachable. It's just the right size, honestly. It's got a lot of space, but it doesn't feel giant. And look at this. The expansion table has little legs on it. We all know that will really help us with the sturdiness. And here is our jumbo bobbin case and the bobbin. And this is the same bobbin case and system as you have seen on the 4 series, 5 series, 7 series machines. And also, the machine is trimmed in like this silver along the bottom of the machine, like you see there. And along the stainless steel piece is not shiny. It's got this matte finish. And along the top, it has the same silver look. And it has a USB-C port and a regular USB port and the place to hold the stylus, even though you can plug a mouse into this as well. There's our bobbin winder. It's right on the top of the machine. And there is a specific spool just for winding the bobbin. There's a horizontal spool pin and 2 other spool pins. And here is the big thing. The needle plates now have a sensor in them. So on the Bernina 990, it knows what needle plate you've put on. There's the housing for the sensor there. And when you take off the needle plate, it shows red. And then when you put the needle plate on, boom, it knows. So I mean, this is going to help us so much. And then there's a camera in sewing mode, and it shows right there on the screen. So that's not, it gets really important when you want to line up your stitching onto specific parts of your work. But I just, Amy and I are just like using it to show our fingernails there. And then another thing that we discovered is that you can actually change the default stitch that comes on when you turn your machine on. Of course, a straight stitch is what I'll be picking, but who knows what you might come up with. So here is our practice panel that they gave us in class, and we're looking at that camera with the number 20 foot in relation to that guide. And it really helps us kind of determine where we want to put our stitch, how we want our stitch to look on our fabric, and then using it in conjunction with the laser that's on it, just like our 790 Pro, really allows us to be quite precise with our stitching. And then we stitched a few triple stitches, and then we did this 6 pattern repeat of one of these designs that, oh my gosh, thank goodness, is found in that 1100 stitches category, which is the tassel folder. Oh, I totally love it. And Philip even got in on it.
It is very fast.
Like how fast?
I can't, it feels like I can't even see where it's going to stitch next.
Thank God we have a camera.
Thank God.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, you can't even hear it.
And one other thing about the camera is that if you want to know if you should go one more stitch repetition or not or whatever, you can just use that camera for that example. And I also found that it might be good when you're doing the circular embroidery attachment. The manual for the machine is totally built in, and you can search anything that's in the manual, and then that information comes straight up when you're searching. So even though you do get a printed manual with the 990, having this at your fingertips, I think, will eliminate a lot of that 2 a.m. frustration when you're sewing late at night and you just can't figure out how to do something. Threading it, super easy. You just put your spool on either the vertical or the horizontal spool pin, follow it through the guides, go back before the pre-tensioner, and then that new thread take-up lever that's there, like on the 790 Pro, and then through all of the guides, and then we've got that automatic needle threader that is, I mean, we couldn't get it to mess up. We tried, but we couldn't get it to mess up, which is awesome that it's working every time. And then there's a new feature. It's called Jumbo Stitch, and you can take pretty much any stitch on the machine and turn it into a multi-direction stitch suitable for quilting, fabric embellishing, making your own fabric embellished for whatever applications that you want. And in this application, we were playing around and we made it about 500 times larger. But another thing that I think is really important is that you could take a multi-direction stitch that you think is really pretty and you could narrow it and make it a 9mm stitch. So you have a lot of flexibility with how you can design these stitches. And of course, there is a stitch designer on the machine that will give you the ability to create your own stitches from scratch, edit existing stitches, and then place other stitches in that stitch. And then, of course, we play with combination mode, and the combination mode is logical, easy, fun, and the really cool part about that is that you can kind of orient it to view what the stitch is going to look like sideways or vertically. There's even some other options where if you made a stitch really short and then another stitch really long, you could select the entire grouping and adjust the stitch lengths evenly throughout each repetition. But you know what? Don't worry too much about that. You're going to see classes like this from BERNINA of Naperville to kind of teach you how to use some of this new functionality. And quite frankly, stitching this out, I mean, Mr. Ulci himself said it very plainly when he walked into our classroom.
Magic!
Magic! Great. As you know, with these videos, I always make one every day. And today, the big shiny toy is the BERNINA 990. But they're announcing some other stuff. So please note that I will be bringing you information on those as well. All right, so now don't forget, if you want to see all of our videos from every day at BU, you're going to have to tune in to our BERNINA of Naperville YouTube channel. And it's easy. It's youtube.com/BERNINA of Naperville. And there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Plus, ring the little bell if you want an alert every time we upload a new video. Until then, tschüss. And there's lots of sewing and lots of playing with new product.